So Marvel Phase 5 is here with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and this is the first reactions. They call it social media reactions. They're basically reviews. They give you a hint at what the movie might be, also what talking points the studio may have given these individuals as well. I always do this for relatively large movies that, have this level of coverage. We like to break this down here because it's interesting. And it tends to be one of those things that when it comes out, we either see a turning of the tide of critics, whether they are actually right or wrong, or just reveal that, critics are massive shills. So interestingly enough, it would appear that of late, critics have actually been honest. I mean, The Last of Us, they watched the first episode of that and that got good reviews. I was a bit skeptical. First episode was actually really good. I mean, its quality's changing ever so slightly now. However, just thought that was interesting to note. And, it's one of those things that I like to watch in the industry itself, just to see whether critics are being more honest or mainstream media are being honest. Now, we'll dive into this today. This is interesting stuff. Some of it, sounds very much like talking points. Some of it sounds genuine and sincere. I'll leave some of that up to you, of course. Before we do, ladies and gents, please do hit that subscribe button if you like this type of content, and hit that thumbs up button. Interacting with the video will tell YouTube that you actually, do like the content. And the reason why I'm asking this is because YouTube's recently pigeonholed the channel. I have so many people coming through now. They've been unsubscribed. They've not received notifications in months. They thought I've died. All manner of weird things. So just cheers for those that do that. You don't have to, but thanks all the same. So Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania releases in, not too long now. 17th, I think it is, only 10 days. I'm pretty certain it's the 17th. And this is a movie which sees Marvel's Phase 5 hit it off, right? And there was the world premiere of the film yesterday in Hollywood. So the first reactions have turned up online. We don't have the actual reviews yet because there's a review embargo, which can be good and can be bad, actually. It's never always indicative of negativity. It's mostly, but not always. So, yes, let's take a look, shall we? Eric Davis says, Phase 5 has begun. The new Ant-Man movie is like a psychedelic roller coaster full of frightening and hilarious oddities, plus one very menacing Kang. Big Star Wars vibes meet the MCU at its freakiest and most inventive. MODOK is a riot, but Jonathan Majors conquers. Love the ride. And this is actually one of the people that I'm looking forward to in the role is Jonathan Majors. I think he is a very good actor, actually. And I think he's starting to get his stardom noticed significantly more and more. He's in a lot of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to his Kang the Conqueror. MODOK I'm not really looking forward to, actually, unfortunately. I just think it's a bit of a waste of a villain. It just kind of made it up. Anyway, definitely make sure you stay for the credits because there are significant things to see. I really dug how Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is both a part 1 of Phase 5, but also a self-contained Ant-Man story that's funny and sweet and features a kick-ass Michelle Pfeiffer. Good stuff. Cool. Okay, interesting. Now, with these kind of things, again, we'll see if there's anything that recurs through these reviews. So you can pick up basically whether there's talking points from the studio, which is something studios do give. They do give talking points. So we'll see if we pick up on anything. And if I don't pick up on anything, but you do, let me know down below in the comments, because I'd love to know what you pick up on. So we had Dempsey Pillett. Says, had a blast with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Paul Rudd has never been better, and Jonathan Majors effortlessly conquers every second of screen time he gets. But the real star of the film is Jeff Loveness's script, a reminder of how beautifully strange and mysterious the MCU still is. Interesting. This is the first time, I think, I've really ever heard anyone praise a script as the star of the show for a Marvel film. So that's fascinating stuff, genuinely. So we had one from Jazz Tang K. Says, had an absolute blast watching Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Creative, irresistibly energetic, and filled with some great action sequences. Welcome, Jonathan Majors, such a badass. The effects are superb. Good. I mean, look, the effects are something which has been a major negative talking point of the MCU for a long time. Hopefully this is true, and hopefully they have corrected it. Now, obviously, running through this is a lot of people talking about Jonathan Majors as Kang. I wouldn't say that's a talking point. I think that's pretty normal that people would be talking about a villain. I could be wrong, and it may be a talking point that's provided. However, it's pretty normal and standard that people would talk about a movie's villain. Stephen Weintraub, who is unfortunately a notorious shill, says Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is a strong start to Phase 5. I now understand why it's called Quantumania. Jonathan Majors is excellent as Kang and cannot wait to see where this all goes. 2 after the credit scenes, and both are very good. So there you go. I mean, there are 2 post-credit scenes, so you can go watch them. MODOK, that's the tweet. Cool. Well done, Adam. Great input. Scott Mendelson. Ugh, dear oh dear. This chap is, interesting. My son changed his mind at the last minute and skipped seeing Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania tonight. He, sadly, had the right idea. Ooh, interesting. Scott Mendelson's one of those characters that, when he worked for, when he worked for outlets, he had awful takes. Some of them very media shilly. Maybe since he's left, maybe he's getting better takes. Who knows? But that's interesting. That's a big oof there. Anyway, so Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is a lot of things. Loud, supersized, and constantly dialed up to 11. Too bad so little of it feels new. Visually creative or just plain interesting. Not even Jonathan Majors can save this hollow, repetitive exercise in weird stuff happening. Ooh, interesting. That's from Jeremy Mathai. That actually corresponds with one of my complaints about the trailer, is that visually there's nothing distinguishable about the quantum realm, to distinguish it, separate it from the cosmic realm. It all looks the bloody same. But that's a big oof there anyway. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is such a fun way to kick off Phase 5. Each Ant-Man film has been better than the last. This is no exception. Can't wait to see more Kang and the ramifications of this film in the MCU. I disagree with that, actually. Ant-Man 2 was not better than the first one, but sure. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania has way too much going on. It's tough to connect emotionally to any of it. Jonathan Majors' Kang is a charismatic, intense baddie and visually awesome, but the threat he represents is too abstract. Ooh. Interesting. And the review embargo looks to be released 3 days before the film's release. So that's interesting. The first people actually taking a hit at the villain. So it seems mixed at the moment. Courtney Howard says, after a frustratingly rough Act 1, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania finally gets going, only to end where this story should have began. While the external stakes are clear and weighty, emotional drive felt slight and levity even lighter. That said, Jonathan Majors rules. Oof. Very mixed. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is a solid yet overly ambitious start to the next phase of the MCU. I will say, I think they needed to go ambitious though, because Phase 4 was so pathetic. Jonathan Majors is an absolute force as Kang and the new king of the multiverse. The final battle is astonishing, but I really missed the comedic charm throughout. See, now I think... I haven't seen it, but I think they need to lose some of that wit. But, again, I've not seen it. Nora Dominic says, Jonathan Majors is a force. A few people have said that now, actually. In Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, he's compelling, chilling, and already giving a top-notch performance. I love the complexity he brings to Kang, and literally a single look. MCU really won with this casting. I'll agree with that. Jonathan Majors is a good actor. There comes a point where every franchise has to get weird, and the MCU has done just that with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Like all his other roles, Jonathan Majors remains endlessly compelling. So we're getting to the really positive ones. Atom said, Quantumania review, scary and shocking, game changer. Marvel is back with a fun, wild adventure. This isn't just another superhero movie. It's one of the best sci-fi films ever. Wow, a fitting end to her journey, while also setting up what's next. To her journey? Whose journey? Michelle Pfeiffer's? The best Star Wars movie since 2018 is Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. It's a huge sci-fi adventure with gorgeous world building that feels almost like un-Marvel in how much world building there is. But it's got humour, heart, Kang completely rules, and Michelle Pfeiffer steals it. Okay, it's from Jermaine Lucier. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Just a brief overview of some of the first reactions. What do you guys think? Anything I missed there? A lot of people saying mages as a force. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a talking point, just because it's pretty common for people to talk about a villain, but it does sound mixed. So what are your take-homes from these? Are you excited? Are you meh? Let me know down below. Cheers, guys. Take care.